Welcome to Keep Traveling, your African story, the only podcast that shares the real voices and journeys shaping African tourism. I'm your host, Rael Zeev, and I've been part of the African tourism industry for over 20 years. Through my inbound tour operation, Keep Traveling, I've had the privilege of connecting travelers from all over the world with the magic of Africa. This podcast is my way of opening that world up to you. A place to learn about the people, properties, and opportunities that make travel across this continent so special. Today, I'm delighted to introduce Jean-Yves Kattic, who's the duty manager at Paradis and Dinarobin, who joins me to share their African story. Jean-Yves, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rael. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to express myself.
I'm really excited about having you because I've spent some time at Paradis and Dinarobin, so I know how fantastically beautiful it is. But for our international listeners, can you tell them where you are situated geographically?
Geographically, Mauritius is found on the eastern part of Madagascar Republic, and we are just, next door to Réunion Island, which is a department of France.
Okay, and tell me, on Mauritius, whereabouts is Paradis and Dinarobin situated?
So Paradis and Dinarobin hotels are situated on the southwest coast of Mauritius. It's like a peninsula, if you want. And we've got a very blessed location with regard to the history around the two hotels.
Well, let's go into that history right now. Is there a story behind the name or the names of the properties?
Yes. First of all, the village whereby Paradis and Dinarobin hotels are situated is called Le Morne. It's named after the mountain situated next to the location. And Le Morne mountain has got a history with regard to the slaves that took refuge, if you want, after escaping from their masters. And the legend says that upon the abolition of slavery, some Maroons wanted to inform the refugees that slavery was over, and the slaves thought that the Maroons were coming to catch them again, and they preferred to commit suicide from the mountain rather than being caught again. That was their fault, and this is what makes the mountain legendary, if you want. And you can feel the atmosphere, when you're at Paradis or Dinarobin or around, you can feel the atmosphere of history. And it's a tragedy, let's say, you can say it like that. And there was one or two movies that have been based on this story to be filmed and also broadcasted on cinemas.
Okay. Obviously, I've seen Le Morne, as you say, it is very special. It's very daunting when you're sitting at the hotel. It seems so close. I haven't tried trekking up it because I think I might have a heart attack halfway up. But maybe the next time I'm there, Jean-Yves, me and you, we'll climb it together, right?
And you've got a good guide.
Tell me something. Was tourism always the plan for you, Jean-Yves, when you were coming out of school?
Back in the mid-80s, the rate of unemployment was quite high. And by that time, after leaving school, you could not say that you wanted to choose your domain of work. So many people from my generation, they took opportunity of the first job being offered to them. And the first job that was offered to me was as receptionist in a hotel on the western coast. So I liked it. How can I say? I didn't quite escape from this sector that was captivating, if you want. But finally, naturally also, I extended my devotion to the hotel sector with our tourists visiting us and also giving the opportunity to the tourists to discover the hospitality of Mauritians.
I don't know how long you've been with Beachcomber. I think you mentioned about 30 odd years. Is that fair comment?
Yes, I've got 34 years of service with Beachcomber, most of them at Paradis Hotel. And I work at Beach Hotel, which forms part of the same group for 3 years, but otherwise, the 31 other years I've been spending at Paradis Hotel, and both of them belong to Beachcomber.
Listen, I love the brand. Beachcomber is unbelievable. I've managed to spend time at least half of your different properties. Obviously, I know that the 9th one is coming up soon, and hopefully we'll get to experience that one as well. But it must be unbelievable to be part of such a fantastic family. And I say family because for anyone to spend as much time as you have with one group, it must feel like you are part of the family.
For sure, because the way I have been welcomed, the way I have been, let's say, treated also, and the way I have been looked upon by the corporate, by Beachcomber, makes me feel like without Beachcomber, maybe I would not have been the person I am. I feel part of the family because it's a journey of 34 years. And I've been working here for 34 years, since 1991. And I don't know how to say it, but great time of my life has been spent in the hotel.
Sure. I mean, we work probably 35 or 40% of our lives is spent working. So I can see that you dedicated so much time of your life to the brand and the hotel. Tell me, what is a normal day for you like at the property?
Okay, out of the 34 years of service, I've been spending 32 years in the human resources with office hours. So working from 8 to 4, working half days on Saturdays, being off days on Sundays and regularly on public holidays, and being also always with the family for Christmas, for New Year. After these 32 years, so 2 years back, I was offered the opportunity to take the post of duty manager. And the post of duty manager required longer hours of work, not being off on Sundays and on public holidays, being present for the big events. It may be a group, it may be festive moment, festive period. And this is the challenge I took at the age of 58. And the normal, let's say, working hours for me, starting at 8:15 in the morning up to 3:30 in the afternoon, having a rest. So at 3:30, I go and take a rest, and I come back at 6:30 in the afternoon, and I work until 11 hours in the evening. I have a span of 5 consecutive days like that. And on the 6th day, I stop working at 4. And on the 7th day, I am on off duty. And I come back for the span of 5 days in a row for the full shift. And it goes on like that.
I think it's an amazing challenge that you've done and an amazing thing, and I wish you well from the duty manager point of view and any other challenges that come your way in the future. Well done for that.
Thank you very much.
And now, being the duty manager, you're spending probably a lot more time actually engaging with guests coming through the hotel. What do guests always rave about after having left Paradis and Dinarobin?
Well, I have seen some guests crying while leaving Paradis Hotel after a stay of 10 days, 11 days. That touched me. How is it possible that people are crying while they are going back home? But they always say Paradis is our second home. And some consider Paradis as being their first home.
You know, when I left Paradis, I needed to go on a diet because the food is just unbelievable. All the different tastes and opportunities to whether we're eating at the sushi restaurant, umami, and, all the different restaurants and buffets. So I was crying because I couldn't walk anymore. I'd been just eating too much, Jean-Yves, I know for a fact that you're getting guests coming from many parts of the world. I heard French spoken, German speaking, Italian, even Hebrew I've heard, and obviously a lot from South Africa. How do you make guests feel at home when they arrive at the hotel?
Okay, thank you for this question. Let me just explain that France, for example, is our main market. Out of the 1 million, nearly 400,000 tourists coming in Mauritius in 1 year, 22 to 23% of the tourists come from France. The second market being United Kingdom, Great Britain, because of historical reasons. We have been an English colony up to 1968, and our official language being English, and our mother tongue being French. Our third market is Réunion Island, and our fourth market is South Africa. So the 4 first countries, there is no language barrier for the tourists coming. And for the third and the fourth market, it's the proximity with Mauritius that eases, the arrivals of these kind of tourists.
Sure.
This makes the people visiting us feel like they are understood right away. There is no difficulty, to share, to explain, to ask. And our hospitality, it's not because I'm Mauritian, but our hospitality being legendary. We make them feel at ease, and we feel when something is going wrong for them, and we are just here for them to reassure them if you want. So I think this is a big element for making them feel rapidly at home.
Tell me, guests that are coming to the island and they want a little bit of a wildlife or nature experience, what can you offer them out of Paradis and Dinarobin?
Well, back in the 90s, the government wanted to develop green tourism, if you want, and many companies now, they offer some natural spots inside some forests, beautiful landscape inland. I will give you one example. We have a sacred lake in Mauritius. The legend says that someone dreamt that this lake was linked with the Gange, which is in India, under the sea. Since then, the lake has become a kind of sacred lake for the Mauritians of Hinduism ethnic. I must tell you that out of our 1,370,000 people, nearly 50% is composed of Mauritians of Hinduism belief, approximately 25% of Christians, 15% of people of Islam belief, and a few percentage of Buddhism belief. So out of the 7 big religions in the world, 4 of them are present in Mauritius. We are blessed, to be able to share these 4 great religions among ourselves first, and without, up to now, any big problem. We live in a peaceful island. We live in a harmonious place. This sacred lake is one of the major attractions inland. And apart from that, you can go to visit some waterfalls. You can go and visit the market in the capital city in Mauritius. The nature has been preserved so that those who want to breathe the inland air of Mauritius can do in a very beautiful tropical vicinity. These are the spots that Mauritius can offer outside the beaches. Our chance at Paradis, being located in the southwest, the south part of the island has remained a little bit wild, not so developed as the northern part of the island. So your question can be answered by saying that this natural part has been preserved more in the southern part of Mauritius rather than elsewhere.
We shouldn't forget to mention that swimming with dolphins and the turtles, my family experienced this August past. They went out on a boat and they just had an unbelievable time. They were right next to the dolphins. My son was so thrilled about that. A great thing that hasn't become too commercialized yet. We haven't chased those animals away from the island, right?
Yeah, exactly. What is to be reckoned is that the dolphins, they play the game.
Exactly. There's something happening. They love the island as much as everybody else does, right?
Yes.
Jean-Yves, I know it's nearly impossible to pick one person, but when I was visiting the hotel, I mentioned to the GM that a few particular people really stood out for me in their way that they came across and their service and their hospitality. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. Is there one particular artisan that when you come into work every day, you just like seeing that person because you know they are on top of their stuff? You know that they're pushing the boundaries all the time.
Yes, very delicate thing to say. I will say that there is one person, when he's here, he's reassuring. You feel confidence. It's my direct boss. He's the hotel manager, Eddie. The fact that he's present, you know that whatever you have to ask, whatever you have to deal with, he will be here to shoulder you, to really support you. And whatever decision you may take, he will always say, okay, you did right, but you can improve, or you did right, you have nothing to improve. I mean, the first name that comes here is the hotel manager, who is here since 37 or 38 years now. I don't want to deceive anyone, but the question was direct, so the answer is also direct. I reckon that everyone is at his place and that everyone does the job that must be done so that this hotel keeps its goodwill.
We spoke about the clientele, but for people that haven't traveled to Mauritius or even Africa, what would you say to somebody that's heard about the island but a little bit nervous about traveling because they just don't know enough? What would you say to that first-time person that's thinking about coming to Mauritius?
Well, what I would say is to resource oneself with a combination of sand, sea, sun, and the green side of the island.
In closing off, Jean-Yves, I can only imagine that you've had to deal with clients at very good times and very funny times, perhaps. But after 34 years, there's got to be a story that just made you uncontrollably laugh because of what had happened. Is there a particular story that you can share with us?
I was walking around the restaurant one night and I just saw a group of 4 or 5 persons waiting. I felt like they were waiting for a table. It was peak time, and I just came and I say, "Excuse me, may I help you?" And one of the guys, he started to shout over me, saying, "We are waiting for a table since, I don't know, we reserved something." And I was kind of, okay, so just give me 2 minutes, please. I'm going to arrange this for you. He didn't even let me finish my sentence. He said, "No, you don't know whom you're talking to," or something like that. And he threatened me with his finger. And that was the first, maybe and only time that I was being threatened by a client. The only thing I wanted to do was to see the situation and find the solution. Well, being threatened like that made me at that time, step back and stay in my office if you want, and not going in front because I was so shocked.
Sure.
But after thinking about it and again as time went by, so I said to myself that I did what I had to do. The client did not give me the opportunity to find a solution for him while I was just walking around and being helpful. But as time went by, I say, no, it's okay. It's part of the deal.
Yeah, listen, I think after 34 years, you must have come into contact with so many different people. And I think that you did a fantastic job. All you can do is stand back. Thank you so much for your time and energy and talking more about your beautiful, unbelievable part of the world. I love it so much and hope to visit you again soon. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome. I am the one who appreciates it more because it's an honor for me having been selected, first of all, and to share what I call a passion, the passionate side of the artisan, of the employee, of the person who is well concerned with the well-being of our guests and also of the people around us.
What an inspiring conversation. Thank you, Jean-Yves, for sharing your story and for everything you're doing to grow African tourism. To read more about today's guest, head over to our website, www.keeptraveling.africa/podcast, or follow Keep Traveling on social media for the latest episodes and travel inspiration. I'm Rails Eve, and this has been Keep Traveling, your African story. Remember, a few years from now, you will not remember how much it cost you, but you'll never forget the memories you made. Keep traveling.